What is up, Better Daily Premium? This is Coach Alex Van Houten in Better Daily, and I'm super excited about this seminar. This seminar is called The Four Disciplines of Better Daily, and it's been a while since I've done this seminar because, well, I haven't done a seminar live in Better Daily in just over a year. And part of the reason for that is that in the past year, I've been working to create a process that's powerful, understandable, science based, but also inspiring to help people who join Better Daily to become 1% better every single day. And so I'm so excited to introduce you to these four disciplines because this is the way that we achieve 1% better every single day in Better Daily. And you'll notice that these disciplines line up with things like the Faithful 40 Challenge or different smaller challenges that we have in the Better Daily community. They also line up with regular habits that you can start implementing immediately. And by the end of the seminar, you'll have an understanding of what the disciplines are and which one you need to focus on right now to achieve your 1%. When we say that around here, what we mean is that we can focus on small things that'll make a very big difference over time. And the question is, what's your 1%? I'm looking forward to exploring that with you today. So, the four disciplines of Better Daily, our agenda for this seminar. One, we're going to talk about why the fitness industry isn't working for people. Number two, we're going to talk about the alignment of the spirit and the body. Number three, we're going to dive into the four disciplines and help you get an overview understanding of what those disciplines are and how you can start exploring where you need to start. Number four, we're going to talk about what's next and how you assess your disciplines and how you understand how you can move forward on that front. Last but not least, we're going to go through some discussion, and that's going to be powerful and good for our questions and answers here. And if you're a premium member joining us live, you'll have the opportunity to ask your questions in this particular seminar. So, first of all, the fitness industry isn't working. And what I mean by that is that it's if you look at the metrics over the last 30 or 40 years, individuals have worked so hard to eat healthfully. Individuals have worked so hard to start exercise programs. Individuals have spent countless numbers of dollars on supplements and doctors and all the stuff to get healthy and fit, to lose weight and to feel more energy and to get out of pain and all of these things. And what we're finding is the industry is not working despite all the science, despite all the money spent, despite all the effort, it's just not working. And for me, as a personal trainer of over 20 years, when I started in the fitness industry, I saw it. I was working really hard to help people to create better programs, to establish a deeper rooting in scientific research and study, to help people use the new tools that technology was making available to us. And what I found was it still wasn't working. And so when we started Better Daily, one of the things that we were working toward is not just fitness programming that worked, but actual repeatable systems and processes that will help individuals see their 1% better daily, that transformation, and also to inspire people in their lives into a transformation of their own. That's the 1% better daily way. If I get 1% better and my community sees that in me, and that happens every day, and I just keep getting better and better, they're like, man, what is Alex doing? I need to do that. And better dailies like that. Albert Einstein is the one who said that the definition of insanity is this: doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's what the fitness industry has been like. People have been eating fewer calories and buying health foods and trying new snake oily supplements and doing more intense exercise programs and all the stuff, right? We've been doing all the stuff, and we just keep trying it over and over again, hoping it's going to work. And people tend to be in more pain. People tend to find themselves with less muscle mass. People tend to find themselves with more dysregulated hormones, more depressed, more anxious, less healthy, right? And if you're wrestling with obesity, maybe even heavier. And it's so painful. It's so painful. And so today, as I present these four disciplines to you, I want you to see these things rooted and understand how the science of health and fitness is important, how your bio individuality, that is to say, your body is different from mine, how that's important, but also how your personal effort in your fitness journey could be better directed toward the things that are going to matter most for you. And that's the challenge. That really is the challenge. I've been a coach for a long time. Creating a personal program for somebody really isn't that hard. It's a process of understanding where that person's at. It's a process of understanding the science that will help them. And it's a process of helping them be motivated to take the small steps that are going to matter to them over time and continuing to support and guide that process. It's not that hard. What's hard is bringing everybody into that because there's only one of me and 24 hours in a day. So the goal here in our four disciplines is to help people understand this at a large level and help you understand how they apply to you and to challenge you to dive into the disciplines that you're struggling with and to become consistent in those habits that will change you for the long haul. So I have a question for you for some personal reflection. The question is, in alignment, what does it mean for your physical self to be an asset rather than an obstacle to your spiritual self? What does it mean for your physical self to be an asset? That means something that supports, helps, grows, is useful in your spiritual self rather than being an obstacle. I'll give you an example. One of the things that's powerful for my spiritual fulfillment and my calling in life is to be an intentional, active, and loving father. However, if I'm in pain, if I'm out of shape, if I'm short of breath, I can't play with my kids like they deserve to be played with to help them grow into the young men they were created to be. So if my physical self is an obstacle to that spiritual endeavor, something needs to happen, physically speaking, to remove that obstacle. Similarly, though, if my physical self is an asset to that spiritual growth and development, then both my fitness journey and my ultimate life goals and purposes will be lined up, aligned together. And this is really the core issue when it comes to why the health and fitness industry is not working. Because when people look at health and fitness, oftentimes their goals are separate from their life. They're like, yeah, I'm a mom, I have a job, I'm working hard every day, things are busy and difficult. But I really hate when I look in the mirror and I see that I weigh more than I should. So I'm going to try to lose some weight. And what's interesting is those goals aren't lined up. How is losing weight going to make you a better mom? It's very possible it won't. It could make you a worse mom, actually, which is very difficult, right? Because it would really stink to do all this work to lose weight and look at yourself and be like, hey, I look pretty good. But if you feel like you're failing in the ultimate purposes of your life, then that weight loss isn't going to mean much. But there is something to be said about a mom who can be active and who teaches her children how to take good care of themselves and who eats healthy for her so they're eating healthy for themselves too, who teaches good nutrition and exercise practices, who's confident in herself and whose hormones are balanced so she doesn't not flying off the wagon regularly with regard to her mood. All those things could be beneficial and aligned with the spiritual journey, and those are bodily processes that can be improved. And so this really matters to me, and it might be strange to you that a health coach, personal trainer, behavior change specialist guy is interested in talking to you about your spiritual well-being. But this is the fundamental truth of fitness, that our spirit can manifest positively in our body and improve it, or our body's just going to break down and our poor spirit is going to shed a sports tear watching how you are constantly limited by the body that you're stuck in. The choice is yours, whether or not you're going to align those two things and pursue better with them together. And that's something that the fitness industry doesn't talk about at all. But I'm working on it. And in fact, if you haven't heard about it already, I would invite you to check out. It's in the process of publishing at the time of this recording, but I'd invite you to check out our 40-day devotional. It's called 40 Days of Better, a Christian health and fitness devotional. And I could have written quite a few different books, but this is the book that I started with because at the end of the day, we know the science. Most of us know the things that we need to be doing to improve our health and fitness, but we're just not doing them and we don't know why. And so it's not a matter necessarily of some new way or new technique of eating or new technique of exercising. It's actually a deep dive into why these things matter ultimately at all, and rooting those habit changes in the things that make life worth living and that make life purposeful, and the deep things that have been inspiring people for generations. And so this is on the way according to this recording, but if you're catching the replay in the future, I hope that you'll look this up and check it out, because it's a powerful work and it will help you to understand these 4 disciplines on a deep level, and it'll guide you through that process over 40 days. So let's talk about these 4 disciplines. I promised you I would, so here we go. Now we're going to talk about these disciplines at a high level. Each one of these will definitely require their own seminar altogether. So we're going to touch on integrity, we're going to touch on grit, we're going to touch on growth, and we're going to touch on awe. And these are the disciplines that you'll find on the back of our Better Daily shirts, actually, if you own one of the new and improved models over our first ones. And these disciplines are the pursuit of Better Daily. So if I'm pursuing 1% better every single day, and I identify that one of the things that I need to do is become aware of the food that I'm eating, we're going to talk about that as a habit in the discipline of integrity. So when I journal my food every day, I am practicing a habit that is the discipline of integrity, because integrity is being honest with oneself. Integrity is making sure that your actions are aligned with your purposes. That means, being one whole part. Integrity is many other things, like keeping the foundation solid and strong. And if I'm feeding myself garbage, my foundation is going to be garbage. Therefore, it will be hard to pursue 1% better with garbage as my fuel and garbage as my building blocks, right? And so I want to dive into these 4 disciplines, but just note that each one of these is going to require some further study on your part. I'll give you some resources by the end of the seminar, but also none of these disciplines can just be learned about. These disciplines are disciplines that require practice. These disciplines are disciplines that require you putting them into practice and learning through action. That's what's going to make the difference for you over the long haul. So let's get into integrity. Integrity is a very interesting word. A 10,000-foot view of the word integrity finds that the root word of the word integrity is integer. Integer means it's actually a number, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It means the inseparable whole. It means put together as one unit and unable to be separated. In the Bible, in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says that a house divided against itself cannot stand. And that is at the core idea of the discipline of integrity. You can find the habits that are associated with the discipline of integrity at betterdaily.live/integrity. You can look that up right now. You can even see a brief blurb about the discipline of integrity all by itself. You'll get to read a bit more about it. And then also you'll see some habits associated, exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle wise, that will help you to practice the discipline of integrity. You might have some of the pieces of integrity down pat in your 1% better journey, and there might be a significant room for improvement for you in the discipline of integrity. But if you are struggling with the discipline of integrity, this will crush your 1% better journey, because you will be divided against yourself. You'll be dishonest with yourself and others with regard to your exercise and nutrition habits, and you'll have a really hard time finding out why you know what to do, but you're just not doing it. This is the discipline of integrity. I encourage you to check that out. The second discipline is called grit. Grit is the thing that allows us to keep going even when things are so difficult that we want to quit. You can find more about this at betterdaily.live/grit. In fact, I'm wearing my grit shirt right now. We're working on a shirt for each one of these disciplines, which I'm really excited about as the holiday seasons are on the horizon. But that said, grit is a powerful discipline that teaches us how to keep going, that we're made of sterner stuff than we know, and that if we will just stick with what we said we were going to do, we won't have to start over anymore. In fact, if you're sick of starting over, it's time to stop giving up. So betterdaily.live/grit to check out more in this discipline. Integrity deals a lot with the nutritional side of things. Grit deals a lot with the endurance side of things. It also deals a lot with what you're feeding your mind and teaches you to create an endurable mind and an endurable body and the metabolism that matches. This discipline in your 1% better journey will help you stick with it when you would normally have given up. And that's not an option on the 1% better daily journey. In fact, if we're not improving, the way biology works, we're actually going backwards. That's we're going backwards or dying. That's really the cellular process that we're going through. So we can't afford not to have grit. I know that was a double negative, but we'll work with that. We can't afford not to have grit. And I bet you're a grittier person than you think you are. And I hope to unlock that in you in your 1% better journey. The third of the 4 disciplines is called growth. Growth is the ability to adapt to things and the desire to take the hard road because it's hard, because it's worth finding out what you're made of. Growth is the discipline, and under this umbrella is the habit of things like weight training, heat exposure, feeding yourself well for the training that you're doing so that you're fueled well for performance and fueled well for recovery. Growth also has to do with areas of rest in your life, because you can't grow if you don't have time to recover and rest from the stressors that you face. You can find more about this at betterdaily.live/growth. And you also notice that whenever I post my Lift 100 results to the Better Daily community, you'll find that I always hashtag that growth, because lifting is a growth discipline, just like running is a grit discipline and food journaling is an integrity discipline. The last of the 4 is probably going to be a little strange to you. If it was strange to you for me to talk about your spiritual alignment and your physical alignment with regard to your 1% better journey, then awe is going to trip you out a bit. But that's okay, because this is a missing linchpin in most of the health and fitness industry programs. In fact, everything I've said so far, integrity, grit, and growth, you might already understand that to be a part of your journey, which is great. Most people don't know how awe is related to their journey, and most people wouldn't recognize awe as a discipline. Awe is the discipline that teaches us how to cultivate gratitude in our journey. It's the discipline that teaches us how to pass on what we've learned while we continue to learn from somebody who's teaching us, because that process of mentorship is a huge part of moving us forward. Awe is also the discipline that encourages us to look at where we've come from and to plot where we'd like to go next and to envision the future. Awe is also the discipline that encourages us to maintain that spiritual and physical alignment in our health and fitness journey. If awe is out of balance or alignment, what's going to happen in your journey is you will have motivation until things get too difficult, and then you'll fail. Awe creates and teaches us inspiration. And when we practice that discipline, we cultivate inspiration, which is way longer lasting than motivation and will help us when we've lost the motivation that we initially started with. Awe is the reason, personally, that the 1% better daily journey has been sustained in my life for over 20 years. And I hope the same for you. You can find out more about this particular discipline at betterdaily.live/awe. You also notice that when I post about fasting, or I post about my why, when I'm taking my kids for a hike or something along those lines, you'll notice that I hashtag that awe. I also hashtag awe when I'm engaging in some sort of very difficult event that requires me to go beyond what I think I'm capable of and to dig deeper within myself and really draw strength from the places that, well, they're just not physical. So awe is a powerful discipline. I'm really looking forward to continuing to explore that with you and to help you get better on that in your journey. So what's next? Well, I've talked about these at a high level, but I have a tool that's going to help you. And the tool is the test. betterdaily.live/test. We have created an assessment to help you understand which of the disciplines you need the most help on and where you're strong at. Because after you answer these questions on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I strongly disagree with this statement, 10 being I strongly agree with this statement, and the 5, 6 being kind of a neutral territory. If you take this test, you're able to score it and see where you score best and where you score worst. Turns out, by the way, I score best in grit. Very gritty guy, hence the shirt. But I score worst in awe. And awe is something I'm still working to cultivate and develop in this season of my life that is just so busy. And it's very difficult to find the margin to cultivate that discipline as well as I'd like in my life. And so I invite you to take this test, betterdaily.live/test. At the time of this recording, we still have a little building that we're doing for the digital version of this. So if you go to that website and you don't get a ping, it's like, hey, this doesn't exist or something, or it's under construction, you can email us at admin, ADMIN, at betterdaily.live and say, hey, I want to take the test. And we'll send you the paper version of this test so you can score it and understand where you're at in your 1% better journey. Now, these disciplines are powerful and important, and I encourage you to check yourself with this assessment regularly because it's been my experience in life that I'll grow in integrity for a time, and then I might lose some ground in growth. And so I need to focus on increasing my efforts and engagement with growth. Or like now in my life, my grit's great, my integrity is in a solid place, my growth is awesome, but man, the awe is struggling, and that helps me to understand on my 1% better journey where I need to focus that small amount of energy that I do have to make very big changes for better. So this has been a fantastic opportunity to walk through the 4 disciplines with you. I hope you'll explore them with me. I also hope that you'll help to cultivate and develop these ideas and disciplines in the Better Daily community. We have so much to learn as a community about how to stick with it when it gets tough, about how to take the garbage and difficult information of the health and fitness world and make it real and good for the journeys that we're on. And we also have a lot to learn about inviting others into the journey, because if you're improving and it's great for you, why not share that with other people who need to improve and see a difference in their lives? We have so much to learn in that way, and I'm so excited for you to be a part of that process. I'm also appreciative that if you've been wondering, where's Alex's live seminars? And I've really missed spending time together like this, then I appreciate your patience as we've worked to cultivate this in a very intense season of both business, but also of life with 2 little kids. I love you very much, but I've prioritized being a good father first, and have done the best I can to make the most of those developmental years for my boys. So I'm really looking forward to doing more seminars like this and to diving more into the integrity, the grit, the growth, and the awe aspects of our 1% better journey. I'm going to pray us out here, and then I really look forward to your discussion and your questions following the seminar. Father God, thank you so much for this night. Thank you that you are God and that you are awesome. I thank you that you guide us on a regular basis and have given us the opportunity to improve ourselves. You say in your word that whatsoever things are good, pure, true, beautiful, and worthy, that if we set our mind on those things, that it will renew and transform us. And so, God, I pray that you'll teach us to be those to set our minds on the things that will lead us forward. I pray that you'll help us to cultivate these disciplines and encourage one another in that pursuit. I also pray that you will bless with favor our effort to improve, not in vanity, but aligned with the purposes that you put us here to accomplish. You're a good God, and we're grateful for this opportunity in life. We love you in Jesus' name. Amen. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Premium. Thank you so much for joining me for this seminar, and I hope you'll check out more in the series of the 4 disciplines. Until next time, it's just 1%. You got this.